Today, we're diving deep into the history and design of one of the most effective Imperial warships, the Victory-class Star Destroyer. Fasten your seatbelts and subscribe for more Star Wars insights. Nordy here, and it's time to get started. The Victory-class Star Destroyer, a hallmark of Quadi engineering and one of the early successes of Rendili Star Drive, represented a fusion of overwhelming firepower and strategic flexibility. Introduced as a versatile capital ship during the final years of the Galactic Republic and later serving the Galactic Empire, the Victory class was designed to excel in diverse combat scenarios, from space battles to planetary sieges. Its formidable arsenal showcased a balance of raw destructive power, precision engagement, and adaptability, establishing its reputation as a symbol of military dominance. At the core of the Victory class's combat capabilities were its quad turbo laser batteries, a set of 10 massive weapons designed to project overwhelming firepower. These batteries were symmetrically arranged along the port and starboard sides, with 5 on each flank, forming the primary offensive capability of the Victory class. Each turret housed 4 colossal barrels capable of firing high-energy plasma bolts with devastating kinetic and thermal effects. The placement of these batteries along the flanks was a deliberate design choice, optimized for delivering crushing broadside attacks. In fleet engagements, commanders could position their Victory-class ships to unleash devastating salvos against enemy formations. The broadside tactic allowed for the concentration of firepower, often overwhelming shields and penetrating the armor of opposing capital ships. The energy blasts from these weapons were capable of disintegrating smaller vessels outright and crippling larger ones, leaving them vulnerable to follow-up attacks. Despite their incredible destructive power, the fixed orientation of the quad turbolasers along the sides introduced a tactical challenge. To maximize their effectiveness, the ship had to be carefully maneuvered into the optimal firing position, exposing its flanks to potential counterattacks. This required skilled coordination between the ship's helm and gunnery teams, turning battles into a test of strategic finesse as much as brute strength. While the quad turbo lasers provided the Victory class with overwhelming firepower, its 40 double turbo laser batteries added a critical layer of versatility. These smaller, more agile weapons were distributed strategically across the ship to ensure comprehensive coverage and rapid response to threats. 10 of these batteries were positioned along the forward hull, forming the ship's primary offensive capability in head-on engagements. This forward-facing arsenal allowed the Victory class to deliver concentrated volleys during frontal assaults, particularly useful in initial salvos or when pursuing retreating enemies. 15 additional double turbolaser batteries were mounted on each flank, complementing the quad turbolasers and ensuring that the ship could engage multiple targets simultaneously in broadside combat. The double turbolasers excelled in engaging a wide range of targets. Against nimble starfighters and corvettes, their rapid tracking and firing capabilities enabled them to neutralize threats that would otherwise exploit gaps in the Victory class's defenses. Against larger vessels, these turrets delivered precise strikes to weaken shields or disable critical systems. This adaptability made the double turbo lasers invaluable in scenarios where the ship faced diverse threats, from fleet skirmishes to planetary engagements. The targeting systems of these turrets were advanced for their time, incorporating predictive algorithms that allowed them to track and engage fast-moving enemies with impressive accuracy. This ensured that the Victory class remained a formidable opponent even when outnumbered, as it could effectively manage multiple adversaries across different ranges. Adding a unique dimension to the Victory class's arsenal were its 80 concussion missile tubes, weapons renowned for their explosive payloads and effectiveness against heavily shielded or fortified targets. These missile tubes were evenly distributed across the ship's hull, ensuring comprehensive offensive and defensive coverage. The forward section of the ship housed 20 concussion missile tubes, granting it devastating firepower during frontal engagements. These missiles were often launched in the opening stages of a battle, targeting key enemy vessels or installations to disrupt their formations and sow chaos. Along the flanks, another 20 tubes on each side provided the Victory class with broadside missile capabilities that complemented its turbo laser salvos, delivering a 1-2 punch that overwhelmed enemy defenses. The remaining 20 tubes were positioned aft, ensuring that the ship could respond effectively to threats from the rear. whether in retreat or under pursuit. Concussion missiles were particularly prized for their ability to bypass energy shields, delivering explosive payloads directly to a target's hull. This made them especially effective against well-shielded capital ships, planetary defense grids, and space station fortifications. The psychological impact of these weapons was also significant. The sight and sound of multiple missile detonations often demoralized enemy crews, amplifying the Victory-class's dominance on the battlefield. The Victory-class Star Destroyer also featured 10 tractor beam projectors, strategically placed to provide maximum utility. 6 of these projectors were mounted forward, enabling the ship to lock onto and immobilize targets directly ahead. The remaining 4 were distributed along the flanks, with 2 on each side, ensuring that the Victory class could exert control over enemy vessels in lateral engagements. Tractor beams served multiple roles in combat. They were instrumental in disabling smaller ships, preventing their escape or neutralizing their maneuverability to set up devastating follow-up attacks. During boarding operations, the projectors held enemy vessels steady, ensuring the safe deployment of Imperial strike teams. This capability allowed the Victory class to capture valuable enemy assets, such as transport vessels carrying supplies or information. Beyond their offensive applications, tractor beams were invaluable for logistical operations. They could be used to tow damaged friendly vessels to safety, recover valuable debris from battlefields, or reposition critical assets during chaotic engagements. This dual-purpose functionality added a layer of strategic depth to the Victory class's arsenal, underscoring its versatility. The integration of these weapon systems, quad turbolasers, double turbolasers, concussion missile tubes, and tractor beam projectors, made the Victory-class Star Destroyer a masterpiece of military engineering. Its ability to deliver devastating broadsides, engage fast-moving threats, neutralize heavily shielded targets, and control the battlefield through tractor beams ensured that it could dominate in virtually any combat scenario. Every weapon aboard the Victory class was meticulously positioned and calibrated to work in concert with the others, creating a symphony of destruction that few enemies could withstand. The ship's offensive capabilities were further enhanced by its advanced targeting systems and reactor output, which allowed it to channel immense energy into its weapons during critical moments. The Victory-class Star Destroyer was more than just a warship. It was a testament to the Empire's technological ingenuity and tactical vision. Its arsenal exemplified a balance between overwhelming firepower and precision adaptability, ensuring its relevance across a variety of combat theaters. Whether leading planetary sieges, spearheading fleet battles, or holding strategic positions, the Victory class's weapon systems ensured its place as one of the most formidable and versatile ships in the galaxy. Even as newer Star Destroyer classes emerged, the Victory class remained a symbol of Imperial might and resilience, its legacy etched into the annals of galactic warfare. Its weaponry, carefully crafted for both destruction and control, embodied the Empire's relentless pursuit of domination, a legacy that endured long after its time on the front lines had passed. The Victory-class Star Destroyer was renowned not only for its versatility, but also for its ability to adapt to various combat scenarios through alternate configurations. One such variant, optimized for more specialized engagements, replaced portions of its standard armament with an array of lighter, faster-firing weapons and a restructured missile complement. This configuration retained the ship's signature balance of firepower and adaptability, while offering unique tactical advantages in specific situations. Replacing the heavier quad turbo laser batteries, the alternate configuration featured 10 light turbo quad lasers, designed to enhance the ship's ability to counter swarms of smaller, more agile threats. These weapons provided rapid-fire capabilities and higher tracking precision, making them particularly effective against starfighters, bombers, and other nimble vessels. Strategically placed to maximize coverage, the quad lasers ensured that the Victory class could maintain a formidable defensive perimeter. In fleet battles, they acted as a protective shield for the Star Destroyer and its allies, neutralizing incoming threats before they could inflict damage. The high rate of fire also allowed for suppression tactics, disrupting enemy formations and buying time for the ship's heavier armaments to engage larger targets. The alternate configuration included 20 heavy double turbolaser cannons, further enhancing the ship's ability to deliver focused, devastating strikes against enemy capital ships and fortified installations. These cannons were larger and more powerful than the standard double turbolaser batteries, emphasizing sheer destructive force over versatility. Positioned across the ship's flanks and forward section, the heavy turbolasers allowed the Victory class to deliver punishing volleys in head-on assaults or broadside exchanges. Their concentrated firepower was particularly effective in battles requiring the rapid neutralization of heavily armored targets, such as enemy star destroyers or planetary defense stations. One of the standout features of the alternate configuration was its 20 assault concussion missile tubes, loaded with 80 heavy concussion missiles. These weapons prioritized sheer explosive impact, making them invaluable in scenarios where overwhelming firepower was required to breach enemy defenses. Unlike standard concussion missile systems, the assault tubes were optimized for high-yield payloads, delivering greater destructive potential per missile. This made them particularly effective in planetary bombardments, siege warfare, and against large capital ships. The heavy missiles could shatter enemy formations and cause widespread damage, leaving opposing forces in disarray. The placement of these missile tubes, strategically distributed across the ship, enabled comprehensive coverage, allowing the Victory class to deliver volleys from multiple angles. Whether in offensive strikes or defensive engagements, the assault concussion missiles provided a versatile and fearsome addition to the ship's arsenal. As with its standard configuration, the alternate version of the Victory-class Star Destroyer retained its 10 tractor beam projectors, essential tools for battlefield control and tactical flexibility. These projectors enabled the ship to immobilize enemy vessels, preventing their escape or neutralizing their maneuverability. In combination with the ship's enhanced weaponry, tractor beams allowed for precise targeting and devastating follow-up attacks. Additionally, they supported boarding operations, salvage missions, and the recovery of damaged Allied ships. The alternate weapon configuration of the Victory-class Star Destroyer demonstrated the adaptability of this iconic warship. By modifying its armament to include faster-firing light turbo quad lasers, devastating heavy turbo laser cannons, and high-yield assault concussion missiles, this variant provided commanders with specialized tools for combating diverse threats. Whether facing waves of starfighters, engaging enemy capital ships, or participating in planetary sieges, the alternate configuration ensured that the Victory class remained a formidable force on the battlefield. This adaptability, combined with its strategic versatility, cemented the Victory-class Star Destroyer's reputation as one of the most versatile and effective vessels in the Galactic Republic and Imperial fleets. The Victory II-class Star Destroyer represented a significant evolution of the Victory-class line, retaining many of the features that made its predecessor a versatile warship while introducing enhancements tailored for modern combat scenarios. Its armament, in particular, reflected a balance between overwhelming firepower and strategic adaptability, ensuring its efficacy in both fleet engagements and independent operations. At the heart of the Victory II class's offensive capabilities lay its 128 turbo lasers, divided into an array of heavy and medium configurations. This included 12 quad turbo laser emplacements and 40 dual turbo laser batteries, providing the ship with a comprehensive offensive reach. The quad turbo lasers served as the Victory II's primary weaponry, delivering powerful bursts of energy capable of breaching the shields of capital ships or devastating fortified planetary installations. Positioned strategically along the vessel's hull, these weapons allowed for concentrated volleys during head-on assaults and broadside engagements alike. The dual turbo lasers complemented this firepower, offering greater versatility and a faster rate of fire. These batteries were particularly effective in dealing with medium-sized vessels, such as frigates and corvettes, or suppressing enemy starfighters in coordinated attacks. The combination of quad and dual turbo lasers ensured the Victory II could adapt to various combat scenarios, making it a formidable presence in any battle. Augmenting its energy-based arsenal, the Victory II class was equipped with concussion missile launchers, a feature carried over from its predecessor. These launchers provided the Star Destroyer with a reliable option for delivering devastating kinetic payloads. Concussion missiles were particularly effective against heavily shielded targets, or in scenarios requiring precise strikes. Their ability to bypass traditional energy defenses made them a valuable asset in fleet engagements, where they could exploit gaps in enemy formations or disable critical systems on larger ships. The Victory II retained the 10 tractor beam projectors that had proven invaluable on the original Victory-class design. These systems provided the ship with unparalleled control over the battlefield, allowing it to capture or immobilize enemy vessels with ease. In combat, tractor beams enabled the Victory II to disrupt enemy maneuvers, holding ships in place while its powerful turbo lasers and missile systems delivered decisive blows. Beyond direct combat applications, these projectors supported a variety of missions, including salvage operations, boarding actions, and the recovery of Allied vessels in distress. Compared to its predecessor, the Victory II class benefited from improved power distribution systems and targeting technology, enabling it to field its enhanced armament more effectively. The integration of advanced fire control systems allowed its turbo lasers and missile launchers to work in unison, coordinating their strikes for maximum impact. This level of synchronization not only increased the ship's offensive potential, but also reduced the response time required to engage multiple threats. Whether operating in a fleet or as a solitary patrol vessel, the Victory II class leveraged these enhancements to dominate the battlefield with precision and overwhelming firepower. The Configuration 2 of the Victory II class Star Destroyer marked a refinement in firepower and versatility, further enhancing its role within the Imperial Navy. This updated configuration was designed to offer a more adaptable and efficient offensive suite, while maintaining the core capabilities of its predecessor. By incorporating a blend of medium and light turbo lasers, concussion missile launchers, and ion cannons, this version of the Victory II was optimized for both heavy combat and strategic engagements. At the heart of configuration, two lay 40 medium turbo lasers arranged in 20 dual mounts, along with 40 light turbo lasers in 10 quad mounts. These upgrades enhanced the Victory II's ability to engage targets across a broad spectrum of threats. The medium turbo lasers represented a balanced approach to firepower, delivering concentrated energy blasts capable of destroying enemy capital ships, as well as heavily damaging smaller vessels. Their placement along the Victory II's hull allowed for efficient engagement with a variety of enemy targets, from hostile warships to fortifications. The dual mounts enabled both sustained, rapid-fire attacks and the flexibility to shift between targets quickly. On the other hand, the light turbolasers were more suited to combating smaller, faster enemies, such as starfighters or frigates. The quad mounts of light turbolasers allowed for a greater spread of fire, offering more coverage during larger battles and better defense against swarms of starfighters or agile enemy craft. With 40 light turbolasers distributed across the ship, the Victory II was prepared to effectively handle multiple threats simultaneously, reducing the effectiveness of enemy harassers and providing added protection to its more vulnerable areas. Another key feature of Configuration 2 was the addition of 20 assault concussion missile launchers, which could also be configured to carry ion cannons. These dual-purpose launchers added substantial flexibility to the ship's arsenal, giving the Victory II class the ability to both deliver powerful kinetic strikes and disable enemy ships with non-lethal force. Concussion missiles, with their high-yield warheads, were ideal for engaging heavily shielded or fortified enemy vessels. Their effectiveness in bypassing energy defenses made them especially valuable when dealing with tough opponents, such as star destroyers or battle stations. The 20 launchers ensured that the Victory II could fire multiple volleys of missiles in quick succession, overwhelming an enemy's defenses and ensuring significant damage. The ion cannon option, meanwhile, allowed the Victory II to disable enemy ships by targeting their electrical systems, rendering them helpless without causing lasting destruction. This was particularly useful in situations where capturing or disabling an enemy vessel was more desirable than destruction. The ion cannons offered a more strategic approach, providing versatility in dealing with various combat scenarios. Retaining the vital 10 heavy tractor beam projectors, Configuration 2 ensured that the Victory II could continue to exert tactical control over the battlefield. The tractor beams were essential for controlling the movement of enemy vessels, whether by holding them in place for further bombardment or by pulling them into range of Allied forces. The power and precision of the heavy tractor beams made them particularly effective in situations where enemies were trying to flee or escape. By rendering an enemy vessel immobile, the Victory II could control the tempo of the battle and ensure that no adversary could slip away without consequence. The Victory 1 class Star Destroyer was equipped with powerful engines that provided both the necessary speed and maneuverability required for its missions as a primary combat vessel in the Imperial Navy. Designed for sustained space travel, combat operations, and enforcing Imperial dominance, the Victory 1 employed high-performance propulsion and hyperdrive systems that made it a formidable adversary across the galaxy. At the heart of the Victory I's propulsion system were the Alderaan Royal Engineers LF-9 ion engines, a sophisticated and reliable design that allowed for efficient thrust while remaining relatively compact for such a massive warship. These engines were engineered to provide a high level of power, ensuring that the Victory 1 could sustain long operations in deep space while maintaining the ability to move with precision when engaging in combat. The LF-9 ion engines were built to be robust and capable of withstanding the stress of prolonged acceleration and deceleration. Their energy-efficient design made them ideal for capital ships, which required massive amounts of thrust to move their heavy hulls, while consuming relatively less energy than conventional chemical engines. The ion engines worked by expelling ions at high velocity, using electric fields to accelerate them through the engine's exhaust system. This technology allowed for precise, controlled movement, which was vital in the chaotic, high-stakes nature of space battles. The Victory 1 class was equipped with multiple LF-9 ion engines, providing the vessel with sufficient thrust to engage in battle maneuvers and chase down enemies, even while under the strain of heavy weapons fire or evasive maneuvers. The redundancy in these engines also ensured that the ship remained operational even in the event of damage, making it a reliable asset in the fleet. For long-range travel between star systems, the Victory 1 was equipped with a Class 1.0 hyperdrive system, a high-performance drive that allowed the vessel to travel across vast distances in a matter of hours or days, depending on the destination. The Class 1.0 hyperdrive was known for its reliability and relatively quick jump capabilities, making the Victory 1 suitable for both rapid response missions and extended campaigns across the galaxy. This hyperdrive allowed the Star Destroyer to traverse hyperspace with minimal time spent in transit, which was critical during large-scale operations or when reacting to sudden threats. In addition to the main hyperdrive, the Victory 1 had a Class 15 hyperdrive backup system. This secondary system was designed to ensure that the ship could continue to function if the primary hyperdrive system were damaged or disabled in battle. The Class 15 hyperdrive, while slower than the primary unit, still provided a reliable means of travel, albeit with longer hyperspace journey times. This backup hyperdrive system was an important safety feature, ensuring that the ship could retreat or continue its mission even in adverse conditions, such as after sustaining heavy damage in a battle. The Victory 1 class Star Destroyer's combination of Class 1.0 hyperdrive and Class 15 backup ensured that the vessel could operate efficiently over great distances without the risk of being stranded or forced to rely on slow conventional travel. The main hyperdrive system provided exceptional speed and flexibility, which was essential for responding quickly to threats or moving fleets across the galaxy in support of Imperial objectives. Whether engaging in large-scale space operations, escorting high-profile targets, or participating in rapid strikes against enemy forces, the Victory 1's propulsion systems were crucial to its operational success. The integration of ion engines for precise maneuvering and the advanced hyperdrive systems for long-range travel made the Victory 1 an efficient and versatile warship within the Imperial fleet, allowing it to carry out a wide range of military missions with effectiveness and reliability. Overall, the Victory 1 class Star Destroyer's engines and hyperdrive system provided the necessary mobility and resilience, enabling the warship to carry out its duties as the backbone of Imperial space dominance. The Victory 2 class Star Destroyer was designed as an enhanced version of the original Victory 1, boasting not only a more refined weapons system, but also an upgraded propulsion system to meet the demands of Imperial naval supremacy. The Victory 2 retained many of the same structural features as its predecessor, but benefited from more efficient and robust engine units, ensuring superior performance in both combat and prolonged operations across the galaxy. At the core of the Victory 2 class propulsion system was the Hirsch-Kessel drive, a sophisticated and powerful engine unit known for its reliability and efficiency in propelling large warships. Manufactured by Hirsch-Kessel, a company renowned for producing some of the most durable and advanced starship propulsion systems, the drive offered a perfect balance between speed, fuel efficiency, and long-term operational endurance. The Horsch-Kessel drive incorporated several advanced technologies, including highly optimized ion engines and auxiliary thrust systems. These systems worked in concert to provide the Victory II with enhanced maneuverability and the ability to maintain high speeds over extended periods of time. This made the Victory II more capable of conducting long-range operations or rapid response missions, which were essential for the Imperial Navy's operations across the galaxy. Unlike the previous Victory I model, which utilized Alderaan Royal Engineers LF-9 ion engines, the Horsch-Kessel drive in the Victory II offered superior fuel efficiency, allowing for a more sustainable range and reducing the frequency of refueling missions. The increased fuel efficiency also contributed to a longer operational life for the Victory II, ensuring that it could stay in combat longer without the need for extensive logistical support. One of the most notable improvements of the Horsch-Kessel drive over the older engines of the Victory I was its ability to maintain a high level of power output, while also providing greater stability during combat maneuvers. The Victory II's engines allowed the warship to be more responsive, capable of performing quick changes in velocity or direction without compromising the integrity of the vessel's systems. This was especially important during large space battles, where sudden evasive maneuvers or repositioning were often required to outmaneuver enemies or dodge incoming fire. In addition to enhancing the ship's combat capabilities, the Horsch-Kessel drive also offered improvements in reliability. With fewer maintenance requirements and more streamlined systems, the Victory II could stay operational for longer periods, without requiring frequent repairs or downtime, which gave it a significant advantage over other vessels in the fleet. As with the Victory I, the Victory II was equipped with an advanced hyperdrive system capable of traveling vast distances through hyperspace. The Horsch-Kessel drive was not just responsible for the Star Destroyer's maneuverability in real space, but also ensured smooth and efficient hyperspace travel. The improved Victory II hyperdrive system made long-range missions more practical, allowing the vessel to swiftly traverse between star systems without significant delays. The combination of the Horsch-Kessel drive and the Victory II's refined propulsion systems meant that the Star Destroyer could perform its duties across a wide range of theaters, whether maintaining Imperial control over distant regions of space, conducting deep strikes into enemy territory, or acting as a tactical support vessel for larger fleet engagements. In the context of its strategic role, the Victory II's propulsion systems were a key factor in the class's overall success. These engines allowed the Victory II to combine the power of a capital ship with the mobility needed for swift, decisive actions in combat. Whether defending Imperial interests in far-flung sectors or responding rapidly to galactic crises, the Horsch-Kessel drive gave the Victory II-class Star Destroyer a level of flexibility and combat effectiveness that was essential for maintaining Imperial dominance. The increased engine performance and the overall efficiency of the Horsch-Kessel drive ensured that the Victory II remained an indispensable asset in the Imperial fleet, embodying the strength and precision of the Empire's military might. With this advanced propulsion system, the Victory II proved capable of holding its own in the most challenging space engagements, adapting to a rapidly changing battlefield with unmatched grace and power. The Victory-class Star Destroyer was designed to serve as a formidable symbol of the Galactic Republic's military power, and later as a backbone of the Imperial Navy. While its imposing size, strength, and capabilities made it an effective tool of war, it also featured a highly functional design suited for prolonged military operations in hostile environments. The ship's construction and operational systems were carefully engineered to balance firepower, durability, and logistical capacity, allowing it to fulfill various roles in fleet combat and galactic policing. The Victory-class Star Destroyer boasts an impressive length of 900 meters, a size that ensures dominance on the battlefield, while still allowing it to be agile enough to engage in tactical maneuvers. Its hull is rated at 1,360 resistance units, offering a strong defense against enemy fire while maintaining an efficient structure for the vessel's operations. While not as heavily armored as some of the later Imperial designs, the Victory class was built to endure prolonged combat with minimal repair needs during short-term missions. The ship's streamlined shape, designed with a long forward wedge and a rearward engine block, allows it to cut through space with minimal resistance while maximizing internal space. This layout also helps with energy distribution, with the core system centrally located to ensure maximum protection from attacks on the vessel's more vulnerable regions. One of the defining features of the Victory-class Star Destroyer is its powerful shielding system, rated at 2,880 shielding boosted defense, which grants the ship considerable protection against blaster fire and energy-based weapons. This rating makes the Victory-class more than capable of withstanding direct hits from enemy turbo lasers and missile fire, providing a much-needed defense to protect both the ship's vital systems and its crew. The shields are further reinforced by redundant energy systems, ensuring that the ship can maintain its defense capabilities even in the event of damage to one or more shield generators. However, despite its impressive shield capabilities, the Victory-class still faced challenges when encountering heavily armed enemy warships, and its shields were particularly vulnerable to sustained fire from advanced weapons. As such, it was typically used in fleet formations where its shielding could be supported by other vessels. The Victory-class Star Destroyer is capable of carrying a substantial amount of cargo, with a capacity of 8,100 metric tons. This allows the ship to transport critical supplies, equipment, and vehicles for long missions, as well as store munitions and other essential resources needed during sustained combat operations. The Victory-class was designed with logistical flexibility in mind, ensuring that the vessel could stay on the front lines for extended periods without needing frequent resupply. To further extend the Victory-class's operational reach, the consumables supply on board can last for up to 4 years. This includes provisions such as food, water, oxygen, and other supplies necessary to support the ship's crew during long-term deployments in deep space. With this capacity, the Victory-class could operate independently for extended periods, whether in a prolonged siege or on missions that required sustained presence within enemy territory. The Victory-class Star Destroyer is equipped with a long-range sensor suite, providing it with the ability to detect enemy ships and objects from far distances, allowing for early warning and tactical advantage. These sensors are capable of tracking enemy movement, scanning for potential threats, and gathering intelligence, which is vital for command and fleet coordination. This sensor system ensures that the Victory-class could maintain awareness of its surroundings, even in the midst of the most chaotic battle environments. Additionally, the Victory-class is outfitted with an advanced navigation computer. This system provides the ship with precise navigational data, essential for hyperspace travel, as well as fine-tuning its trajectory and maneuvering in real space. The navigation system ensures that the Victory-class can safely travel through hyperspace without delay, while also maintaining the accuracy required for battle operations and fleet coordination. The Victory-class Star Destroyer has at least one docking bay, providing a secure location for smaller vessels to land, dock, and refuel. This docking bay facilitates the operation of shuttles, TIE fighters, and other support craft that are essential for a wide range of missions, including planetary assault, reconnaissance, and search and rescue operations. The design of the docking bay allows the Victory-class to function in a dual capacity, supporting both offensive operations and logistical support to other vessels in the fleet. The Victory-class also features escape pods, which are critical for ensuring the safety of the crew in the event of a catastrophic failure or when the ship is at risk of being destroyed. These pods are designed to eject crew members to safety in deep space, giving them a chance to survive and return to Imperial-controlled space after being abandoned. Though not designed to carry large numbers of escapees, the inclusion of escape pods ensures that the crew's survival is prioritized in emergencies. The Victory-class Star Destroyer was designed to be a powerful and versatile warship, and the structure of its crew played a crucial role in ensuring its operational effectiveness. The crew was carefully organized to handle various roles and responsibilities aboard the ship, from managing complex systems to engaging in combat situations. The complement of crew members, which could range from 4,798 to 6,107 personnel, depending on the version of the Victory-class, Victory 1 or Victory 2, was a testament to the need for a well-trained and efficient team capable of operating a vessel of such scale and firepower. At the heart of the Victory-class was its crew, which was divided into several core groups. These groups were composed of officers, engineers, gunners, and specialized personnel, each trained to perform their tasks efficiently, whether it was in combat or managing the day-to-day functions of the ship. The commanding officer, typically a captain or an admiral depending on the mission's scope, oversaw the entire ship's operations. They made strategic decisions and commanded the ship's tactical movements during engagements. Supporting the commanding officer was the executive officer, XO, who was tasked with overseeing the operational readiness of the ship and managing the crew's day-to-day duties. The XO played a key role in ensuring that orders were carried out and that the ship ran smoothly. Below the XO were the department heads, officers in charge of specific areas like engineering, navigation, and weapons, who ensured that each department was properly manned and prepared for combat. This command structure was designed to ensure that the ship could function in any situation, from routine patrols to intense fleet engagements. The Victory class also featured a sizable crew dedicated to its weapon systems. The ship was heavily armed with turbo lasers, concussion missiles, and various other forms of weaponry. To operate these, the ship required 226 gunners, trained in both defensive and offensive roles. These specialized crew members had to be highly skilled, as they were responsible for controlling and targeting the ship's turbo lasers and missile systems during battle. With the ship carrying a significant number of weaponry, it was essential that the crew responsible for these systems were quick and precise in their actions. Similarly, the Victory class was equipped to deploy a number of starfighters, which required additional pilots. Pilots and flight crew were trained to engage enemy fighters and bombers, making them an integral part of the ship's overall defense and offense capabilities. Training was one of the most important aspects of preparing the crew for service on the Victory class. The crew was trained to operate the ship's complex systems and to perform under extreme pressure. Officers, engineers, and enlisted crew members went through rigorous military training, ensuring they were prepared to face combat and emergency situations at all times. Combat training was particularly important for the ship's gunners and pilots, who had to be proficient in both offensive and defensive tactics. The gunners were trained to operate the ship's turbo lasers and missile systems, ensuring that they could target enemy ships and respond quickly to incoming threats. The ship's pilots were trained for a variety of roles, from dogfighting against enemy starfighters to providing close air support during ground assaults. The training for both gunners and pilots was intensive, focusing not just on individual skills, but on the ability to work seamlessly as part of a larger crew, coordinating their actions with other crew members to maximize the ship's effectiveness during combat. In addition to their combat training, members of the Victory class crew were also trained in ship systems management. The engineering crew, for example, was responsible for maintaining and operating the massive engines and power generators that allowed the ship to function. These engineers were trained in systems repair and damage control, as the Victory class was often involved in prolonged engagements where maintaining the ship's operational systems was critical. Similarly, the medical staff aboard the ship were trained to handle injuries sustained during battle, providing life-saving care to crew members when needed. The ship's bridge crew operated under the direction of the commanding officer and the XO. They were responsible for managing the ship's systems, including navigation, communication, and sensor monitoring. The bridge crew worked closely with the rest of the command staff, relaying critical information and assisting in decision-making processes during both combat and non-combat operations. This level of coordination was essential, as the success of the ship depended on a unified effort from all departments. One of the remarkable features of the Victory-class Star Destroyer was its ability to operate with a minimum crew of only 1,785 personnel. This allowed the ship to function with a skeleton crew in emergency situations, or when operating under strained conditions. The ability to run with a reduced crew was due in part to the high level of training that each crew member received, enabling them to take on multiple roles when necessary. Despite the reduced number of personnel, the Victory class could still perform its core functions, engaging in combat, defending important assets, and maintaining operational integrity. However, this minimal crew size also meant that during periods of sustained operations, the full crew size of up to 4,798 to 6,107 crew members was often required to ensure the ship's systems ran at full capacity. The Victory-class Star Destroyers, comprising the Victory the Y and Victory II variants, were not only powerful warships capable of imposing Imperial dominance in space, but also designed to serve as integral assault platforms for ground-based military operations. Their ability to transport and deploy large numbers of personnel, vehicles, and specialized equipment for planetary assaults made them indispensable for the Galactic Empire's military campaigns. This capability was particularly crucial for Imperial objectives, which often involved the conquest of heavily defended planetary systems or suppressing insurgencies on remote worlds. Both variants of the Victory class were equipped to handle large-scale ground operations, making them versatile tools for maintaining Imperial control over the galaxy. The Victory I-class Star Destroyer was designed with the capacity to carry and deploy 2,040 troops, which included a variety of Imperial soldiers, special forces units, and support personnel. This troop complement allowed the Victory Theron to be effectively utilized in planetary invasions, riot control operations, or the subjugation of dissident movements. These soldiers were the backbone of the Imperial military machine, trained for rapid deployment and capable of overwhelming resistance through sheer firepower and numbers. In addition to the soldiers, the Victory, I was fully equipped to carry a wide range of ground vehicles, all designed to ensure the success of planetary assaults. The AT-AT Walkers, all-terrain armored transport, were one of the most iconic pieces of equipment aboard these ships. These towering, four-legged behemoths were heavily armored and armed with powerful blasters, capable of trampling enemy fortifications and troops. The AT-ATs were typically used as frontline assault vehicles, leading the charge against enemy defenses during planetary invasions. Alongside the AT-ATs, the Victory I could carry juggernauts, and HAVRA, 9 floating fortresses. Juggernauts were large, heavily armored vehicles capable of carrying large numbers of troops while providing fire support on the battlefield. They were especially effective in urban environments, where their size and firepower allowed them to break through barricades and establish Imperial control. The HAVRA-9 floating fortresses were another important component of the Victory I's landing force, designed to provide mobile cover and artillery support for ground troops. For troop deployment, the Victory I carried specialized dropships and troop transports capable of ferrying Imperial soldiers and equipment from orbit to the planet's surface. These transports were essential for rapid ground assaults, as they allowed large numbers of personnel and equipment to be landed quickly, often under heavy fire. The dropships were used for deploying troops directly into battle zones, while the troop transports were generally used for carrying large numbers of soldiers or heavier equipment, such as armored vehicles. The Victory I was, therefore, not just a space combat platform, but a well-rounded assault vessel capable of bringing overwhelming force to any conflict. Its combination of troop capacity, ground vehicles, and landing craft made it an essential tool for the Empire's military campaigns across the galaxy. While the Victory II-class Star Destroyer retained many of the same core elements as its predecessor, it made several changes to its troop and vehicle complement to improve its operational efficiency and flexibility in the field. The Victory II could carry 1,600 troops, which was a slight reduction compared to the Victory I, but still a significant force for planetary operations. This reduction in troop capacity was balanced by improvements in other areas, such as the integration of more specialized vehicles and more efficient ground operations systems. One of the key differences in the Victory II was its enhanced vehicle complement, which included 10 AT-AT walkers and 15 AT-ST walkers. The AT-ATs continued to serve as the backbone of the ground assault forces, with their heavy armor and weaponry allowing them to smash through enemy defenses and hold territory in hostile environments. The AT-Ss, smaller and more agile than their larger counterparts, were designed for rapid flanking maneuvers and support for infantry units. These walkers could navigate more difficult terrain and engage enemy forces at close range with their blasters and grenade launchers, making them an essential part of the Victory II's ground operations. In addition to the AT-AT and AT-ST walkers, the Victory II also carried 10 juggernauts, providing further support to the assault forces. Juggernauts were equipped with heavy weaponry and could transport both infantry and equipment to the battlefield, ensuring that Imperial forces had both mobility and firepower in the field. Juggernauts were particularly useful in urban warfare and for overcoming fortified enemy positions. The Victory II also carried a variety of support vehicles, which were used for reconnaissance, battlefield logistics, and medical evacuations. These vehicles ensured that the Imperial forces remained operational in hostile environments, even during extended engagements. The Victory II class was equipped with 5 Lambda-class shuttles, which were crucial for quickly deploying personnel and equipment to the surface. These shuttles could carry small units of soldiers, officers, or VIPs to the battlefield, and could also be used for transporting wounded personnel or conducting reconnaissance missions. Both the Victory I and Victory II class Star Destroyers were equipped to handle all aspects of ground operations, making them formidable assets for the Galactic Empire's military endeavors. Whether it was the larger Victory I with its broader troop capacity and variety of support vehicles, or the more specialized Victory II with its enhanced vehicle complement, these ships played a crucial role in ensuring the success of Imperial ground campaigns. Their ability to carry ground troops, heavily armed walkers, assault vehicles, and landing craft made them perfect for launching large-scale invasions, subduing insurgents, and maintaining control over conquered territories. The combination of transport capabilities, firepower, and vehicle deployment ensured that the Victory-class Star Destroyers remained at the forefront of Imperial military strategy during the early years of the Galactic Empire. The Victory-class Star Destroyers, two of the most iconic warships in the Galactic Empire's fleet, were designed for both dominance in space and effective support for planetary ground assaults. While the ship's size and capabilities made it a formidable opponent in battle, its TIE fighter complement was integral to its combat strategy. Though carrying only 24 starfighters, a seemingly modest number compared to larger Imperial warships like the Imperial-class Star Destroyer, the Victory-class's strategic use of these starfighters allowed the ship to maximize its firepower, flexibility, and effectiveness in a wide range of missions, both in space and on the surface of enemy planets. Despite the relatively small fighter complement, the Victory-class Star Destroyer was a warship capable of extraordinary firepower, with its turbo lasers, concussion missiles, and heavy armor. However, to maintain air superiority in space and provide essential support to ground forces, the 24 TIE fighters stationed aboard the ship were considered a vital part of its combat potential. These starfighters were deployed with a dual purpose, ensuring both space superiority and the ability to carry out essential support for planetary operations, which became crucial in the complex and multifaceted nature of Imperial military campaigns. While the Victory-class Star Destroyer carried just 24 TIE fighters, their role in space combat was far from secondary. These starfighters were not simply an afterthought or an auxiliary force. Rather, they were integral to the ship's ability to maintain control over large sectors of space. Unlike larger Star Destroyers, which carried hundreds of starfighters for extensive dogfights and multi-layered fighter strategies, the Victory class used its limited 24 TIE fighters in a much more focused and calculated manner. The key tactical concept behind using just 24 TIE fighters was specialization and efficiency. Instead of deploying overwhelming numbers, which would overextend the ship's capabilities, the Victory-class Star Destroyer optimized its use of starfighters by dividing them into 2 key squadrons, each with a specific focus. The first squadron would be used for defensive operations, while the second would be tasked with offensive actions. This division allowed the Victory class to maintain control of the battle space by efficiently deploying its starfighters where they were most needed. The first squadron of TI fighters was primarily tasked with ensuring air superiority in the immediate vicinity of the Star Destroyer. These defensive TI fighters were meant to intercept enemy starfighters, bombers, and missile threats, preventing them from reaching the ship and delivering any potential damage. These starfighters, with their high maneuverability and speed, excelled at intercepting fast-moving threats from enemy fleets or other hostile elements. By deploying this squadron in defensive combat, the Victory class could keep its primary weapons system intact, ensuring its turbo lasers, ion cannons, and concussion missile launchers remained operational throughout the battle. The TIE fighters would intercept enemy craft at long ranges, engaging in high-speed dogfights to disrupt enemy formations and protect the Star Destroyer from missile barrages. Their ability to quickly close the gap between the enemy and the ship allowed the Victory class to neutralize threats before they could reach striking distance. This strategy of interception meant that the Victory class didn't have to rely on overwhelming numbers of fighters to defend itself. Instead, each individual TIE fighter was deployed with clear purpose and intent, ensuring maximum effectiveness in preserving the ship's combat integrity. The second squadron of TIE fighters was used for offensive missions, such as attacking enemy capital ships, engaging other starfighters in battle, or performing reconnaissance. These starfighters provided strike capabilities that were crucial to weakening enemy formations. Despite having fewer numbers compared to larger Imperial warships, the TIE fighter squadrons aboard the Victory-class Star Destroyer could still pack a significant punch, especially when used in combination with the ship's heavy weaponry. When launching offensive strikes, the 24 TIE fighters would often target weakened sections of enemy ships or attempt to break through enemy defenses, allowing the Victory class to gain the upper hand in battle. By harassing enemy targets with rapid attacks, these starfighters could cause enough disruption to force an enemy fleet to abandon its coordinated efforts, allowing the Victory class to either engage or retreat at will. Their role in engaging enemy fighters and capital ships made them invaluable for creating a diverted or confused battlefield, enabling the Victory class to operate more freely and safely as it executed its broader strategic goals. One of the most significant aspects of the Victory-class Star Destroyer was its ability to not only dominate space, but also to provide essential support for Imperial ground forces. While the Victory class was not a dedicated carrier or troop transport, its 24 TIE fighters played an integral role in planetary invasions and sieges. The TIE fighters, when deployed from the Victory class's hangars, were able to support ground forces with various roles that directly contributed to the success of Imperial planetary operations. During planetary assaults, the Victory-class Star Destroyer's TIE fighters were crucial for providing close air support to Imperial ground troops, such as stormtroopers or AT-AT walkers, who were engaged in hostile environments on the planet's surface. The TIE fighters, particularly in their bombing or fighter-bomber configuration, could be deployed to target enemy defenses, softening up fortifications or artillery positions before the ground forces arrived. Their strafing runs would provide the necessary firepower to breach enemy lines, allowing Imperial forces to move in with minimal resistance. This made the Victory-class Star Destroyer an invaluable asset during planetary sieges, as it could provide both space superiority and direct support to ground combat. In addition to close air support, the TIE fighters were also tasked with securing air superiority over enemy-controlled worlds. During invasions, the Victory-class Star Destroyer would be at the forefront of operations in orbit, while its TIE fighters worked to destroy or neutralize any enemy aircraft that could challenge Imperial dominance. Enemy starfighters, bombers, or planetary defense systems were no match for the TIE fighters' agility, which allowed them to clear a path for Imperial transports and assault forces. The 24 TIE fighters aboard the Victory class thus ensured that the ship could engage in full-spectrum warfare, from maintaining space superiority to providing key support for planetary operations. The relatively small number of 24 TIE fighters aboard the Victory-class Star Destroyer also allowed for flexibility in how the starfighters were used. These ships could easily rotate out different types of TIE variants, such as TIE bombers or TIE interceptors, depending on the operational needs. If the mission called for bombing runs or long-range strikes against fortified positions, TIE bombers could replace the standard TIE fighters. Alternatively, TIE interceptors could be deployed in dogfights or for long-range reconnaissance, expanding the tactical flexibility of the Victory-class Star Destroyer's air operations. This adaptability ensured that the Victory-class Star Destroyer could operate in any environment, whether facing a space battle, a siege operation, or air superiority missions. Each of the 24 TIE fighters was an asset that could be maximized for specific situations, ensuring that the Victory-class Star Destroyer remained an effective and versatile tool in the Imperial Navy's arsenal. In conclusion, while the Victory-class Star Destroyer may have only carried 24 TIE fighters, these starfighters were deployed in a highly effective manner, both in space and on the surface of planets. Their dual purpose, acting as both space combatants and ground support units, allowed the Victory class to maintain a high level of flexibility and combat effectiveness. The Victory-class Star Destroyer, a critical component of the Galactic Republic and later the Galactic Empire's military might, was designed to serve as a heavy warship capable of overwhelming enemy fleets and providing direct support for planetary assaults. This formidable starship was the result of extensive planning, engineering, and manufacturing efforts by some of the most prominent shipyards in the galaxy. The Victory class was built primarily by Rendili Star Drive and Kuat Drive Yards, two of the most renowned shipbuilding companies in the galaxy. Its production involved cutting-edge technology, intricate logistics, and substantial financial resources, which ensured the mass production of this powerful warship. The Victory-class Star Destroyer was designed by the brilliant engineer Walex Blissex, whose vision for the ship sought to create a warship that combined firepower, mobility, and cost efficiency. Blissex's design philosophy aimed to produce a ship that was heavily armed yet cost-effective, able to perform in both space combat and ground operations. The result was a vessel that, although not as large as the Imperial-class Star Destroyer, could still dominate in battle with its turbo-laser batteries, concussion missiles, and significant armor. Blissex's work on the Victory Y-class laid the foundation for what would become a long line of Victory-class ships. The Victory I-class, the first iteration of this class, featured advanced systems for its time, including long-range sensors, targeting systems, and defensive capabilities designed to withstand hostile space environments. It was initially intended for Republic judicial forces and planetary defense, but as the Galactic Republic moved toward war, its capabilities proved essential for fleet engagements as well. After the success of the Victory Y-class, Rendili Star Drive continued to improve upon the design, producing the Victory II class, which incorporated further advancements in firepower, efficiency, and versatility. The Victory II class featured upgraded weaponry, enhanced shield systems, and better crew efficiency, making it even more effective in extended operations. The bulk of Victory-class Star Destroyers were constructed at two primary shipyards, Rendili Star Drive and Kuat Drive Yards. Rendili Star Drive was known for producing sturdy and reliable military ships, and it played a pivotal role in the development of the Victory class. Located in the Rendili system, the company's shipyards were known for their efficient production processes and ability to build large numbers of ships for the Galactic Republic. The facilities here were capable of handling the enormous logistical demands of producing Victory-class Star Destroyers, including the construction of the heavy frames, power systems, and advanced weaponry required for these warships. Rendili Star Drive also produced several upgraded versions of the Victory class, including the Victory II class, which benefited from the company's years of experience and advanced manufacturing techniques. Kuat Drive Yards, another prominent manufacturer, was responsible for producing a significant portion of the Victory-class Star Destroyers. Known for its massive production capacity and highly skilled workforce, Kuat was able to produce large quantities of ships, including the Victory class, which quickly became a mainstay of the Galactic Republic's navy. The Kuat facilities were able to handle massive construction projects, such as the Victory class, thanks to their access to cutting-edge technology and highly efficient production lines. Both shipyards had access to extensive logistical networks, with resources and parts being shipped in from various locations across the galaxy. These shipyards operated at maximum efficiency, with assembly lines that allowed for the rapid construction of ships without compromising the quality or design specifications. The construction of Victory-class Star Destroyers required an extensive network of factories, assembly lines, and parts suppliers. To ensure the smooth production of the ships, numerous smaller manufacturers were contracted to produce specific components, including weapon systems, engine units, shield generators, and sensor systems. The logistics for this large-scale production involved a highly coordinated effort between Rendili Star Drive, Kuat Drive Yards, and their suppliers. The construction process of each Victory-class Star Destroyer began with the assembly of the ship's frame and the installation of primary systems, such as the ion engines, hyperdrive systems, and turbolaser batteries. Once these essential systems were in place, the ship would undergo a series of tests to ensure that it could withstand the harsh environments of space combat. After the testing phase, the ship would receive its final armament, shielding systems, and hangars, making it ready for deployment. The Victory I-class Star Destroyer had a production cost of approximately 57 million credits per ship. This relatively high cost was a reflection of the advanced technology and large scale required to construct these warships. However, considering the need for reliable, versatile warships to support the growing military might of the Galactic Republic, the Victory class was seen as a cost-effective alternative to other, more specialized ships. The price tag also reflected the efficiency of the manufacturing process, as Rendili Star Drive and Kuat Drive yards were able to streamline production without sacrificing the ship's combat effectiveness. With the introduction of the Victory II class, the production cost was lowered to approximately 50 million credits per ship, a reduction made possible by further advancements in manufacturing technology, as well as improvements in crew management and system efficiency. The Victory II class ships incorporated upgraded weapons, improved shielding, and better logistics, making them more effective in combat while keeping costs manageable. For the Galactic Empire, these ships were a crucial investment. The Empire needed an overwhelming presence in space, and the Victory-class Star Destroyers provided just that, combining substantial firepower, versatility, and cost efficiency. With the mass production of these warships, the Empire was able to assert dominance in multiple sectors of the galaxy, ensuring its reign over both the Outer Rim and the core worlds. Though the Victory-class Star Destroyer was eventually overshadowed by the larger Imperial-class Star Destroyers, its production set the groundwork for future warship designs. Its combination of firepower, cost-effectiveness, and versatility made it an indispensable part of the Imperial fleet, and it continued to serve in various roles for decades. The legacy of the Victory-class Star Destroyer can be seen in later designs, particularly in the development of Imperial-class Star Destroyers, which adopted many of the core features of the Victory class. The combination of heavy turbo lasers, missile launchers, and efficient shield systems, alongside the design philosophies of Rendili Star Drive and Kuat Drive yards, would go on to influence the creation of even more powerful and specialized warships in the Imperial fleet. The Victory-class Star Destroyer represented an essential milestone in the development of Imperial warships, blending powerful design, strategic thinking, and efficient production. Its production, spearheaded by the Rendili Star Drive and Kuat Drive yards, set the stage for the Empire's later technological advancements and created a lasting legacy that would influence shipbuilding for years to come. With its relatively low cost and overwhelming power, the Victory class proved to be a crucial asset for the Galactic Republic and the Galactic Empire, providing a backbone of strength for the galaxy's military forces during its most turbulent periods. The Victory-class Star Destroyer traces its origins to the early stages of the Clone Wars, a period of intense galactic conflict that saw the Republic pitted against the Separatists. With the Acclamator-class assault ships already in service, the Republic required more powerful and versatile warships to meet the growing demands of the war effort. Rendili Star Drive, in a bid to challenge the dominance of Kuat Drive yards, initiated a series of covert actions, including industrial espionage and design innovation, in order to secure new contracts from the Republic. This competition led to the birth of the Victory-class Star Destroyer, a direct response to the Venator-class Star Destroyer produced by Kuat. Known as the Victor Initiative, this joint project between Rendili Star Drive and Kuat Drive yards began during the early phases of the war, and was aimed at outpacing Kuat in providing the Republic with superior capital ships. Wallix Blissex, the chief designer of the Victory class, developed a vessel that would become a symbol of Republic power on the battlefield. While the Victory class was ultimately a challenge to the Venator class, it had its own distinct role within the Republic fleet. An early batch of Victory Wine-class Star Destroyers was deployed to Sector 0 to defend against a fleet of Bulwark Mark I battlecruisers from the Techno-Union, which had escaped the Foros blockade. This mission marked the deployment of the Victory fleet 6 months ahead of its scheduled readiness. However, the full deployment of the Victory-class Star Destroyers did not occur until after Palpatine's rise to power and the dissolution of the Galactic Republic, when the ship would begin its service under the Imperial flag. The Victory II class, a later iteration of the Victory I, was introduced during the Clone Wars to address some of the shortcomings of its predecessor. One of the major upgrades included the replacement of the LF-9 ion engines with more powerful engines produced by Hirsch-Kessel Drive, which enhanced the ship's speed and maneuverability. Additionally, the Victory II class swapped out its concussion missile launchers in favor of more turbo lasers and ion cannons, making it a more focused vessel for space combat. These modifications allowed the Victory II to excel in long-range engagements, a necessary adaptation as the war intensified. Externally, the Victory II class was almost identical to its predecessor, but its internal systems were significantly upgraded to make it a more formidable opponent on the battlefield. Despite these improvements, the Victory II was short-lived in the Republic Navy, as it was introduced just before the more advanced Imperial-class Star Destroyers began rolling off the production lines. The Victory II saw only limited service before it was overshadowed by the more powerful and heavily armed Imperial-class Star Destroyers, which quickly supplanted it in the role of the primary capital ship of the Imperial Navy. With the establishment of the Galactic Empire in 19 BBY, the Victory-class Star Destroyer transitioned from its Republic service to an integral part of the Imperial Navy. Though the Imperial-class Star Destroyer eventually became the Empire's flagship vessel, the Victory-class remained in service for many years, particularly in the Outer Rim and less critical theaters of the galaxy. As the Imperial Navy grew and the Imperial-class became more ubiquitous, many Victory-class Star Destroyers were either decommissioned or sold off to other groups, including the Corporate Sector Authority, which purchased over 500 of these ships. Despite their growing obsolescence, Victory-class Star Destroyers continued to be used for planetary defense and secondary operations, where their firepower and versatility still made them valuable assets. In certain theaters, particularly during the early years of the Empire, the Victory-class Star Destroyer was considered second only to the Imperial-class for many operations, especially in regions such as the Outer Rim, where pirate activity was rampant. The Victory-class played a vital role in large formations, often accompanied by Imperial-class Star Destroyers, Star Cruisers, and Star Dreadnoughts in major assaults. For example, during the Battle of Sutric, Victory-class Star Destroyers were deployed alongside other capital ships to strip enemy shields and deliver devastating barrages of concussion missiles against weakened enemy hulls. One of the key limitations of the Victory-class was its relatively low speed, which made it vulnerable to quicker and more maneuverable opponents. During the Battle of Denab, the Victory-class fleet was outmaneuvered by rebel forces, who were able to defeat Imperial squadrons individually before the other ships could come to their aid, thus preventing the Imperial fleet from combining their firepower and overwhelming the rebel forces. To mitigate this weakness, Imperial tacticians often paired Victory-class Star Destroyers with faster support ships, such as Interdictor-class Star Destroyers and Carrack-class light cruisers, to provide the necessary support and compensate for the Victory-class's slower speed. The Victory-class Star Destroyer experienced a brief resurgence during the time of Grand Admiral Thrawn, a highly skilled tactician who revived several older ships, including the Victory-class, to bolster the Empire's fleet. Thrawn understood the need to maximize available resources, especially after the loss of many powerful vessels in the early years of the rebellion. Under his command, Victory-class Star Destroyers were once again deployed on the front lines, as there was a shortage of newer Imperial-class Star Destroyers. Thrawn famously flew his flag on Victory-class ships like the Stalwart and the Celtor, employing these vessels in several successful campaigns against rebel forces. In particular, Victory-class Star Destroyers played a key role in eliminating the Iterman Bativ pirates during the Battle of Kuyumen. The pirates, aware of the impending attack, were overconfident in their ability to defeat the Victory-class ships, calling them outdated. However, the Victory-class proved to be a formidable opponent, contributing to the complete annihilation of the pirate threat. During the Galactic Civil War, the Victory-class Star Destroyer continued to see action, though its role was increasingly relegated to secondary and supporting operations. However, the Victory-class still saw active duty in the Imperial fleet, and was used by some Imperial factions throughout the galaxy. These vessels served as part of Darth Vader's fleet during key campaigns, and they were involved in numerous operations in the Outer Rim and against rebel forces. Following the events of the Yuuzhan Vong War, the Galactic Federation of Free Alliances commissioned an updated version of the Victory-class Star Destroyer, designed for use as a specialized pirate hunter ship. These new vessels were equipped with powerful tractor beams, allowing them to capture enemy ships with ease. They were deployed in various galactic operations, including anti-pirate missions in the Outer Rim. Some of these updated Victory-class Star Destroyers were eventually hijacked by Killiks, who used them in their invasion of the Chiss Ascendancy. The Victory II-class Star Destroyer was introduced toward the end of the Clone Wars, a period marked by intense conflict and rapid technological development. Despite being produced late in the war, some Victory II-class ships still bore the livery of the Republic during their initial deployments. The Victory II was designed to address the growing needs of the Republic Navy, which was engaged in a multi-front war against the Separatists. Although it entered service after the Victory I class, the Victory II was not produced as extensively and did not see as widespread use as its predecessor. Despite this, the Victory II would continue to be produced for the Imperial Navy after the conclusion of the Clone Wars. The Victory II class was primarily deployed as a patrol and blockade ship, with duties often focused on sector defense. These vessels patrolled critical areas of the galaxy, frequently working in pairs or alongside other Imperial ships, tasked with maintaining order in regions suspected of harboring rebel or pirate activity. They served as the Empire's first line of defense against insurrection and piracy, making them a crucial asset in the early stages of the Galactic Civil War. While the Victory II class was not as powerful or as heavily armed as the newer Imperial-class Star Destroyers, it played an important role in maintaining Imperial control over various sectors. The ship's capabilities were designed for more specialized missions rather than direct engagement with large rebel fleets. Their ion cannon armament made them ideal for deep space interdiction missions, where capturing enemy starships was more desirable than outright destruction. The Victory II's ability to disable enemy ships without causing excessive damage allowed it to carry out critical intelligence-gathering operations, particularly when the target ship contained vital information for the Empire. With only 2 squadrons of starfighters, the Victory II was not as versatile in fighter deployment as the Imperial class, and it was often accompanied by fleet carriers or other support ships that could provide the necessary air support. The Victory II class was generally seen as inferior to the Imperial-class Star Destroyer, which was widely regarded as the superior ship in terms of firepower, speed, and combat effectiveness. This disparity led some to believe that the Victory class would be phased out of service as the Imperial class took over frontline duties. However, as the Galactic Empire expanded and the Rebel Alliance grew in strength, the Empire found it necessary to maintain every available capital ship in service, including the Victory II class. Despite the arrival of newer, more powerful ships, the Victory class remained an essential part of the Imperial fleet throughout the Galactic Civil War. The rise of the rebellion forced the Empire to retain its older warships to ensure it could keep a constant military presence across the galaxy, especially in areas where the Rebel Alliance was active. At the beginning of the Galactic Civil War, the Rebel Alliance managed to seize several Victory II-class Star Destroyers, though most were either lost during combat or recaptured by Imperial forces in subsequent years. The Victory-class Star Destroyers, while not as advanced as their Imperial counterparts, continued to be formidable opponents in their own right, especially when deployed in large numbers or as part of combined fleets with other Imperial ships. Some of the Victory II-class Star Destroyers remained in service with the Imperial remnant after the fall of the Empire, with at least one known to have seen action during the Yuuzhan-Vong War. The Protector, a Victory II-class ship, participated in the Battle of Borosk, where it fought alongside the remnants of the Imperial fleet against the Yuuzhan-Vong invasion forces. The continued service of the Victory class in the post-Empire era highlights the durability and effectiveness of these ships, even in the face of more modern and advanced threats. Ultimately, the Victory II-class Star Destroyer holds a unique place in the history of the Galactic Empire, serving as a testament to the adaptability of older designs in a rapidly changing galaxy. Although it was overshadowed by newer ships, the Victory II remained a key part of the Imperial Navy throughout the Civil War and beyond, contributing to both the Imperial remnant and the New Republic in their efforts to maintain control and order in the galaxy.